So last week we left off talking about the power of meditation. So I think I failed to mention that when we talk about prayer, specifically meditation with the Rosary, we're focusing on mental prayer. So if I were to ask you right now, what do you think mental prayer means? What would you say? Huh? Praying in your head, yes. Because mental in your head. So a lot of you guys do this probably without even knowing it. Maybe before you go to bed, you go next to your bed and you start to pray, right? That's in your head. The mental prayer is just thinking the prayers. But let's break it down really quick. Prayer in its simplest way is talking. Right, talking with God. So it doesn't have to be like, how would I say it? A super fancy paragraph. It could be as simple as, Papa Dios, or Father, I'm very tired today, but I just want to let you know that I love you. It's a very simple prayer, and if you say it in your head, it's mental prayer right there, right? And going back to meditation, I also forgot to mention that there's a difference between the meditation that we as Catholics practice versus non-Catholic people. Because I'm pretty sure you guys have heard of, or maybe seen people that go like, right? That's not the type of meditation that we're referring to. That kind of meditation usually is connected with New Age religions. So they believe in like, oh, you're your own God, you can manifest things. Yeah, so they believe a lot of stuff that go against us, go against our faith. So today we continued this process of praying the Rosary with meditation. And specifically today we focused on the sorrowful mysteries. And one thing that I want to talk to you guys about today is the fruit that you could get from praying every single mystery. So believe it or not, those 5 mysteries that we talked about today, starting with the agony in the garden, the scourging at the pillar, the crowning of thorns, Jesus carrying his cross, and his crucifixion, even though it's 5 simple things, even in your booklets, it's like maybe 2 or 3 sentences. If you really wanted to, you could spend days, weeks, months trying to understand what it means, or even just putting yourself there. Now we could barely get through 20 minutes, but the point is that you would never really get tired of meditating on these mysteries. Why? Because it's connecting you to a different point in the life of Jesus. In this case, we looked into his sorrows, his pain, his we call it his passion. The pain, the torture that he went for you, the torture that he went for me. And one thing that I wanted to focus on for today with the sorrowful mysteries is the virtue of patience. Now, you guys are familiar with patience. It takes a lot of patience for you guys, I assume, to be sitting right there, to be praying for 20 minutes, right? It takes a lot of patience for you guys to be in school since, 7:30 and out at 4 or 5 p.m. I don't know. It takes a lot of patience to work on your homework, or maybe even a lot of patience to listen to your parents. But it's something that we all got to practice. So how do we connect that with today's mystery? Well, if you didn't notice, Jesus spent a lot of time suffering. Going to the Garden of Gethsemane. Think about that. He took the time to pray to God the Father, and he started to see the sins of the world. Now, imagine how patient you gotta be to put up with the nonsense, to put up with all of the evil. I'm pretty sure you guys have seen things that other people do that disgust you. Maybe you saw somebody do something bad and you're like, man, that person is terrible. Or you see somebody, I don't know, cheat on their girlfriend or cheat on their boyfriend, and you're like, man, that person is a jerk. They're terrible. Now imagine Jesus seeing every single bad thing and still saying, I'm going to be patient. I'm going to love this person. I'm going to die for them. All right? So every single moment, he's patient. One of those, for example, again, is during the crowning of thorns. Imagine the patience that it took to sit there and hear the Roman soldiers make fun of him. They literally got on their knees and started going, "Long live the King of the Jews." Now, if you were God, you would probably be like, I'm not taking that from you. Get the heck out of here. I'm not going to die for you. Now, one more example of patience. Being on the cross for 3 hours. Have you guys ever stood still for 3 hours? Like in one spot? Yeah. Standing up. How did that feel? Did you like it? It was terrible, right? I'm pretty sure it feels terrible. I'm trying to think the last time even when I go to USPS with the mail people, I have to give them my packages, right? I have to stand in line for like 10 minutes. And I'm like, man, this is taking forever. Imagine Jesus on the cross, there, like unable to breathe comfortably for 3 hours straight. That took a large amount of patience. So those are the kinds of things that you get to reflect on when you're taking the time to pray the rosary as you're supposed to. Because the next time that you're in a situation where you're called to be patient, the fruit of the rosary is that you're a little more prepared to do that. Why? Because you've already pictured doing it. And the thing about the rosary is, believe it or not, time after time, you pray the rosary, day after day, day after day, rosary after rosary. Eventually, all of those Hail Marys, they start to change your heart. They start to transform you into a better, more virtuous person. So I want you guys, I guess, to take that with you. The next time you're asked to be patient, be patient. And I know that's hard for you guys because you're like, 14, 15, maybe 16? It's hard for me too. But just remember, the next time you're in a situation and you have to wait for the next thing, remember, okay, if Jesus was patient with me, if Jesus was in the cross for 3 hours, I can be patient for this moment. And even though I don't like it, I offer it to God because he's going to bring something good out of it. And what was the good that brought the good that came out of Jesus on the cross? Yeah, but what was the good thing that came out of that? Huh? I don't know. What good? Huh? Us? What about us? Well, that's a question for the group. What good did it do Jesus to die on the cross 3 hours? If someone told you, okay, you're going to have to stand, I don't know, on top of a chair for 3 hours straight, you would be like, why would I do that? It makes no sense. Why would Jesus go on the cross for 3 hours? Why would he let himself be insulted, scourged, beaten, mocked? For us, for you. Yes. So yes, like what you were saying, the fruit, the good thing that came out of it is that because of him, you have access to heaven. You have access to the Father. But it's kind of like a question with two meanings, because on the one hand, yes, it had a lot of fruit, a lot of benefits to it. But it would mean nothing if you don't change your life, if you don't change your ways, if you don't become more patient, if you don't become more loving, if you don't become more forgiving. All right. So I could go on for an hour, but we'll leave it at that for today. All right. So let's go get some food.